Hey everybody, Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Consolidation day in the markets as we've made, really a multi-day thrust, the previous week. So we've been consolidating now for 5 days. So the action's been a little bit choppy, but that's normal after you get these type of thrusts. You're either going to get a pullback or some type of sideways consolidation. In the meantime, there are still stocks running, and you're still seeing some money fly around and setups still happening. So, markets holding up pretty well, and as long as stocks are breaking out and moves are clean, we can still make some money. Let's take a look at the watch list. Don't have too much market analysis. This has been the last few years. It's like, as long as the market's in an up thrust, that's really about as much analysis as you need to do as a day trader. When you're swing trading, you need to know the levels a lot better and the overbought, oversold, and really be able to time the market. As a day trader, it matters more about whether you're in a bullish thrust, bearish thrust, what's happening in terms of the big picture. But the actual mechanics of, hey, this is a pattern of this and that in the market, it doesn't matter as much. As I do a lot of swing trading, I still pay attention to it, but it's not something I need to analyze as much. Um, CCR pick for tomorrow. If especially if this thing gets over 4, I think that's going to be the sweet side. You can see here this resistance has been tested quite a few times, and there's not very many stocks left on the bottom like this. So this could be one of those plays that has got some juice. XIN's another kind of Chinese name that I've been watching as this sector's been heating up. There's only a handful of them down there, and you can see really, your kind of bottom is $4 on this one. Glue, I tried to short this one today. Didn't work. I hit short of like 493, 494, and I covered it at 502. Lost 10 cents or so. I didn't have many shares to start with, only a couple thousand. I was going to kind of leg into it if I saw the breakdown confirm, as I was more taking an anticipation trade that it would fade late in the day. But you've got 4 big up days. The stock's been getting gappy. If this one gaps up one more time, it'll be lights out for it. It'll be lights out for it. So hoping tomorrow we get a gap and a push at the open or something like that. That will really give us a nice reward to risk ratio, especially if we can get it up in here, because then we'll have some levels to play off of. And you could see, I mean, you would just have a lot of airspace underneath. Anytime you get so far away from your moving averages and stuff like that, the more risky it becomes to trade to the long side, and you'll tend to get a counter trend snapback on that. HIMX, been watching this one. It's another kind of bottom stock. $7 seems to be the mark that it just can't get past. This used to be a big momentum stock. It's been crushed, but just like we saw FDYE and SPLK and all these other kind of momentum stocks that really fell off the table, they at some point they all bottom. You can only drop so much, and that's what we're seeing over here in HIMX. I like this one, BDSI. This one, when it tends to move pretty quickly too. We got a flag pattern over here. What I usually watch on a stock like this that's been consolidating now for like, a handful of weeks is I'll typically watch like a 15-minute or 30-minute type of chart to really be able to gain a precise entry and understand where the levels are, the trend lines are, and things of that nature. But I do like the overall look of this. CCIH, after this nice grind off, from 13 to nearly 18, we've pulled back to support. And I think if we can push out of this range, we'll get a run right back to 18. I love the location on this one. This is also one of those stocks that we know can go on really big runs. And so, if this is the bottom in this and this market holds up, then we could really see a run into this into the 20s. GTAT, I'm not sure if I'll play this name. I notice a lot of people have been watching it and things like that. And usually, if everybody's watching the same setup, it kind of gets a little bit goofy. But I wouldn't chase the 19 break on this. This is kind of one of those stocks. You get in early, you manage your risk, and then as it's time to get your inflection point, it's about to really inflect. You can kind of double up on the break if you need to, but you're gonna have to get in early on this one. But I like the location because you have a really easily defined stop placement. You got some nice support at 18, your 20-day moving average. This setup, flat top breakouts have been working. When you flat top breakout is essentially when you have a tabletop on top of your stock, and that's what we have over here. And this setup has been working, so this is something that could go. You might just have to be patient with it. Go, a flag pattern. We got about a 20-day consolidation here. 21 is the 200-day moving average. We're definitely going to run into that. But I would almost take an anticipation trade that's going to break the 200-day moving average. The thing about resistance points are that resistance points are a little bit less meaningful when the market's in a really, really bullish thrust. You can anticipate the trades, and oftentimes if the setup is pure and you've built to yourself a nice case with a lot of different pieces of evidence to support what you think will happen, you'll often rip through resistance points like they're not even there. And the same thing happens when the market is crappy and you're like in a bear market and you say you're buying a stock on support or something like that. Support doesn't mean anything in a bear market. That just becomes an area where people short it. Same thing in the vice versa in a bull market. CMCM, Chinese stock over here. I really like this one. Had this big monster run, nice easy-go-lucky pullback. This will be another one that the entry itself will be really tricky. You have to train your eyes to be able to see all the angles. I'll probably use a 15 to a 30-minute chart to really nail down the big picture of this. It's kind of hard to see from the daily, but you've got a nice pullback to your 20-day moving average. Easy go lucky, not too much volume distribution or anything like that. And then if you can come out of range, you'll start to see it. You might even take a little bit of an anticipation trade with the stop under and then kind of let it develop. That's what I like to do in my IRAs. KPTI, this one is starting to grind. It looks like it's going to come and break out over here. The one thing is it's been grinding up for a few days, so I think it's going to need a little bit of rest, but the big picture on this one is still holding. Cena is definitely bottomed out here. Watch this kind of 50 zone. And then ILMN, this is more of probably a swing setup over here. You've got a kind of a triple tap breakout over here. The stock tends to move pretty smooth, and it tends to run for 4 or 5 days at a time. It's already been up for a few days. I'd rather see a day or two of rest on this one and then go. And this is another type of play that I would more play in my IRA or something like that. But it can move, and it does have a decent enough range that you can even get a day trade or two out of it if the setup emerges as it's breaking out or when you have confirmation of it. So that's it for now, guys. A million stocks that you could put on your list. There are stocks all over. Also, if you trade metals, you'll see a lot of these metal stocks flagging. I hate trading metals. I didn't put them on my list, but they're all there. They're all flagging here. FSM is a nice one. EXK is a nice trader. You'll see a lot of these kind of silver stocks. You may want to keep these in handy too. If that's something that you like to trade. So that's all I got for you guys now. Let me know if you guys need anything, and I will see you guys all later. Take care.